Hey y'all, it's your girl Millie Chun. Marquez, whatever his name is, has made it over here to talk to the dentist and Carlos. We gonna get into it. But what I will say also is the dentist had a lot to say about Carlos's interview with Funky Dineva. I may cover that later because that could be an entire post. But we gonna get into Marquez. Let's go. First off, Carlos so messy. So we feel like we've been in the world of Trish, right? We've had Trish and her boyfriend, and now we're being joined by her husband. That sounds so crazy. Child, so Love and Marriage Huntsville is still filming, right? And this is yet another person that Carlos hasn't met face to face, so he's meeting Marquez right here on the podcast. And he wants to thank him for being on the show. Marquez said, let me stop you because I was going to say no and send a cease and desist and get copyright situations done. Because Trish, allegedly, per Marquez, said that he said he's a pretty smart fellow. Trish sent him a release for the daughter because she was going to be on a dance show. Now, he said he read the paperwork, but later on, after he read all the paperwork, he found out that it was for Love and Marriage Huntsville. They've been filming for a while, and they want him to come in and talk about their divorce. He was like, this could affect him, the people around him, because this is his real life. He has dabbled in the entertainment industry. But if you read it the first time, Marquez, you should have known that it was for a show and not a dance show, right? So then he said for 2 months, like his son told him, Dad, they keep asking me questions as if I'm not talking to you. So that's when Marquez decided to do the show because now he said he needs to get in here and see what's really going on. So were they filming for 3 months or 2 months? Did you read the paperwork or didn't you read the paperwork? Because why did you decide to do the show, sir? So what I'm gathering from Marquez right now, he's not working. He left his corporate job of 5 years to dabble into entertainment, right? Lockheed Martin, he left Lockheed Martin. Okay, he's a 38-year-old man who loves his kids. He is currently in his grandmother's home, his 95-year-old grandmother's home. So I'm guessing he lives there because he's transitioning through jobs right now. So, that's who Marquez is. So the dentist said that Marquez got a bad edit. And Marquez was riding with that until Carlos cleared it up. He was like, we don't edit bad because that would make us look bad, right? So then Marquez comes back and says that he was responsible for what he said about leaving his family, not being there. Those are things you said because that is what you did. If you have moved to Atlanta, you are not in Huntsville with your children. So you left, right? And then now that your wife wants to get a divorce because she's in a relationship and you've got a release that you signed and 10 days later you realize it's for a TV show. Now you want to come and be on the show instead of sending the cease and desist. So you said what you said. That's out of your mouth. And that's true because you left your family. He said that him and Trish was together when they were 17. They got married when he was 19. She was 18 because she was pregnant. She had her son at 19. He said that no matter who Trish is with, he's always going to be there. Always. And then he said that he's always that person that was trying and to be there, right? But he admitted that he was not there for Trish when she was going through the passing of her family. And he was not, his words, he was not sensitive because he had never lost anybody in his family. So he didn't know how to be there for her. So he wasn't. And he apologized to her for not being there. But he always has Trish's back. I feel like this dude is wasting our time. Now, one thing that is parallel between Marquez and Ken, the communication with Trish is horrible. He stated that it's like pulling teeth to communicate with her. She has guards up and she's not willing to let them down. And that is not good. But I feel like he's still wasting our time. So he was like, he talked about not being there for Trish, but he was like, it was so bad, like he didn't want to come home because of the communication and things like that. But they had unresolved issues. But if your wife is having loss in her family, yes, you can still have unresolved issues, but you be there for your wife and your family, right? Instead of going over to your friend's house and talking about your wife while she's losing her sister, while she's losing her mother, while she's losing her father. You're over there talking about her and her not talking to you. If you sit over there, she may say something. She's dealing with loss, and then she has to pick up and do the regular stuff without you being there over there talking to your friend. This dude is wasted matter. And then he keep asking, what is a man supposed to do? He has this great father right here who's gone to glory, God rest his soul. But now he's still asking, what is a man supposed to do? He asked Marceau, what was a man supposed to do? Waste of time. I don't understand this part. Like, he said he was living upstairs. He didn't leave yet. He was living upstairs in the daughter's room for 9 months. Then he got an apartment 5 minutes around the corner because it was crazy being in the house and upstairs in the room. And then he decided in 22 to move to Atlanta to be closer to his family, his brother, his grandma, and people like that. But he left his children, right? And as he's trying to clear everything up, he left his children to go and live with his family, to be closer to his family. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't have nothing for Marquez. So Ken is a trigger for him, right? And coming to see his children, knowing that Ken would be there, made him want to come less, right? He went on to say that Trish made it hard for him to see the kids because then she would tell him that the daughter had dance. You can't go to the dance? You can't go to the practice? Because if she got dance, it's a public place. If you've come in town to see your kids and she has dance practice or she has a recital, you can go. But his excuse is Ken is going to be there and Ken is a trigger for him to see his kids. That's crazy. Marquez is the worst, right? Like me. Okay. Men don't tattle. You understand what I'm saying? He's a tattletale. He's talking about text messages and videos when he can hone down when Trish and Ken got together because of the type of videos or texts he found about Ken wanting to do certain things to Trish. That's BAN right here. This is what he is. I'm sorry. I don't have nothing for this. This needs to be removed off the planet. I don't hear anything that he's done. It's Trish, Ken, Trish. Because he is the perfect father. He is the perfect husband. He wanted to work out with her. She didn't want to work out with him. He has a dad bod. Then he finds out. What kind of man finds out that his wife is checking for another dude and then just plays the back role? Either he was ready for Ken to come on the scene so he could leave, or fill in the blank. So he said Ken was the reason that they divorced. He divorced because I guess Trish made him feel useless and not alive inside. And he used to lay in the bed and look at the ceiling fan and cry. Who is this man, Harpo? And then he want to get mad about Ken being there as you sit in Atlanta away from your children. He is a BAN. He done gave Trish $5,000 for a house and she'd have moved in with another man. You are not smart, sir. You are not smart. Then he talked about he would like to know what Dr. Damon would do if it was a man in her inbox. Like she said, he would fight to the end, unlike you. And then he talking about he would want to crash out. You crashed out, all right. You got on Highway 20 and went to Atlanta. Then he said it was a joke when he asked Trish to pay half for the divorce. You are a joke, sir. Let's talk about it.